What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November. I have no idea what is going on with that. I've got some serious audio things going on here or something. But man, that okay, we're gonna have to get that fixed. I'm gonna bring out Hayden real quick, and he's gonna introduce everybody really quick while I figure out my audio.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, tonight's guest is Lou and Pink from Hikin-N-Hammin, and I can put a link to their channel. You can check them all out. Let's bring them on. How you guys doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
Doing good, Hayden.
Every time he does this to me, I get a little nervous.
Well, hopefully that wasn't feedback coming off my system that he was hearing. So I just muted.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was working on. He said something that he was having hearing problems. He sounded okay to me, but
yeah, I think he was getting some delayed audio coming back through, so that may have been off of me. I looked over, like, oh crap, my speakers may still be on. So speakers are now off, so hopefully that cured it. We'll see.
Yeah, you guys are sounding good. So for everybody that hasn't heard of your channel, I can't imagine anybody hasn't at this point.
I've only got 196 subscribers, so there's a lot of people who haven't.
Why don't you give us a brief description of what kind of amateur radio you're into and what your channel highlights?
Well, I'll kind of give you the backstory here. So when we first started dating, literally our first date was a 10-mile hike. And a few weeks after that, maybe a month later, we had a couple of dates that were hikes, went to dinner a couple of times, that kind of thing. And then she has a friend who has a cabin up in North Carolina, up by Chimney Rock, Lake Lure area. And usually it's being used as an Airbnb or a Verbo. And she happened to be up there for a week and said, hey, invited her hiking friends up there. And of course, I got to go along. And if for anybody who's familiar with the Lake Lure, North Carolina area, there's a place up there called Party Rock, where there was famously a big fire several years ago. But we did the hike up to Party Rock, and we were sitting up there, and I was thinking, man, I wish I had a radio with me. And I was aware of POTA, I was aware of SOTA, and I was like, I should have brought a radio with me. And I was like, yeah, but my IC 7200 would be a hell of a thing to have to drag up here on my back. But it kind of sparked that idea of doing SOTA, doing POTA, and I kind of took it from there and started researching and and looking around and starting looking for QRP rigs, because really what I really enjoy more, I do more POTA because that's what's convenient to us. Sure. But I really love doing the SOTAs. So I started looking around for QRP rigs, managed to pick up a Usedex 6100 off one of the guys from Southeastern Appalachian Summit QRPers, SASK, if you've ever heard of those guys. They're mostly around the Atlanta area. And they do a lot of activations. And my first SOTA activation was with those guys. They did an activation where they did
Sassafras.
They did. We went to Sassafras in South Carolina, but it was the highest summits in 5 states simultaneously activated.
Oh wow!
So it was North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, 5 highest summits in each, activated simultaneously. And that was a lot of fun. So it really stuck then. But it's hiking, which I love to do. We both love to do. And then the amateur radio. And for those that don't know, Pink got her ticket because we were sitting in a POTA, and I can't think of the call sign, TCZ, TCN. I want to say they're out of West Central Georgia, somewhere in Alabama. That's a couple that activates all the time. And we worked them, And, she heard the standby for second operator. She'd heard it a couple of times before. And she asked me about it. She says, what's that going on? I said, well, that's a couple. And they're activating together. She looks at me and goes, I want to do that. So that led to, how do I get a license and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, here's some resources, showed her where to take. She could take the online practice test. I bought her the Tech and General Gordon West books. And just answered questions as she had them about, various things. And, the Saturday before Huntsville, she goes and takes the Tech and General exam and passes them and gets her call sign the Saturday morning of Huntsville. So,
oh, wow. Congratulations.
It's been rolling ever since then.
Can I tell this story?
Go right ahead.
I was waiting. I was checking online every single day, every single night to see if my call sign came in. And, they said from Wednesday on, it might be. And, oh my goodness, Saturday, like Friday into Saturday overnight. And I even woke up in the middle of the night, like midnight, 1 o'clock, and checked, and nothing had, I
just realized that sticker was on this bottle.
The sticker. Advertisement, yes.
I don't know if y'all saw.
There you go.
So, and I didn't see it come up. And then in the morning, he's in the shower singing, cry, 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 da, 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 and I'm like, why are you singing? What are you singing? He said, oh, your call sign came in. It's the worst call sign ever. KQ4 CRY, KQ4 cry. And I was like, oh, and it grew on me. I mean, within, a few minutes, I thought, well, this is very memorable. I don't want to change it. We had initially talked about getting, a vanity call sign for me, since he's got his updated to a vanity to match the channel. But I kind of like cry. This is cool, Yeah. Nobody's going to
call sign.
Yeah, very unique. So I love it. And we've done a few park activations together. We had a summit planned, soda planned after Shelby. And unfortunately, the weather didn't play nice. So, yeah.
Didn't get to do that one. And we were actually planning on doing 2 days of radars this weekend. And I don't think the weather's going to cooperate.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
So it's probably going to be a weekend of Skywarn and not POTA activations, but that's okay. And to answer the question, Kent, yes, that's who it is, Todd and Championship. You are correct.
That was going to be my guess as well. It's funny because I would keep the call sign for sure, because that's a good way to break a pile up. Just be like, cry, cry. I guarantee you that would break my pile up. I guarantee it. People break my pile up for weird things. My favorite one to date, though, is quiet, no talking.
Oh.
That's great. Oh, man. Now, I'll tell you, we were very tickled when we did this last activation we did, which was Fennessy Swamp. And Toby came in and, I worked Toby. I was like, hey, I recognized the call sign. I was like, wait a minute, that's Toby. And I said, is that you? Yeah. I'll stand by for Pink. And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, she's getting some notoriety now. So
listen,
thanks for that, Toby.
There's 2 rules to POTA. You're not a hunter until I'm in your log, and you're not an activator till Toby's in your log.
Well, we got one.
So you guys are activators.
Yes.
Now he's in my log for hunting.
Yeah, a couple of times. Yeah.
I don't remember cry though.
Yeah, we'll get her in there one night when she's not working. So yeah, definitely.
Oh.
At some point she'll make it in your log.
And here's Zeke.
And there's Zeke, the not yet a trail dog.
Yes. Don't call me a trail dog. Yep.
Not yet a trail dog. I like it.
Yes.
So we're going to definitely get to some hiking, but really quick, I wanted to say sorry about my audio issues. I get 1K and then my audio goes to crap. What it was is where I've got a monitor here and my computer's over here. My monitor was feeding back something into my head, and I would talk and it'd come through, and then I'd get this real bad feedback. So I don't know what was going on there, but it seems to be fixed now. So I will do the the shout out to the Patreons here in a little bit after we get going, and I'll do the Adventure Club standings as well. But we're going to talk a little bit about hiking.
Mhm.
Well, hiking and ham radio, two of my favorite things. I like to hike. I'm surprised I don't. Well, I'll tell you why I don't do more soda, because here in the area of West Virginia where I'm at,
Mhm.
there's quite a bit of soda, and none of them's really even activated. But that's probably for a good reason, because it's in really, really sketchy private property places that you're like, I don't know about that one, you know. So, but I would like to do a whole lot more soda, but
Mhm.
I do a lot of hiking poda, and I've got a little tiny QRP bag for when I do that. My whole kit will fit right in here. Radio,
Mhm.
coax, even the $60 laptop will go in the back of this bag. But
Nice.
it's really good. But I want to talk about some things that, let's say that somebody's not been out. Well, they've been out hiking maybe a little bit, but they've not been out and did radio. What would be some tips for somebody for their first hiking activation, you think?
One, it's weight. That's always the biggest thing is weight. You've got to, and equipment, of course, in the pack. And what is the scope of your hike going to be? When we do sodas I guess
Mhm.
we've done four actual sodas now.
Yeah.
And out of those, three of those were overnight or multiple night trips. So, what is your intent? Where are you going? How long are you going to be up there plays into it. Um, Make sure that you can carry, and it may, when you throw it in the pack, it may not seem like it's a lot of weight, but after you carry it 5 or 6 miles, it gets a little heavy.
Mhm.
So weight is definitely a consideration. You know, I wouldn't want to throw a QRO rig, generally speaking. Maybe my 891, I would do that, but otherwise, I go as light as I can. Small LiFePO 4 battery, QRP rig, either the X6100 or the TX500, and an in-fed half wave, and that's it. And actually, I talk about this in one of my videos. I started out using an arborist throw weight to get the antenna up in the air, and then it dawned on me, well, that's kind of dumb. That's like 14 extra ounces I'm carrying around with me for no reason whatsoever. So
it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does over the long haul. And so what I did is I got what's called a rock bag, and it's very, your serious hikers will have a rock bag with them, and you just, when you get to, and they use it to hang bear canisters, bear bags, so the bears don't get in their food. But it works the same way. You just take this little nylon bag with you that weighs nothing, and then when you get where you're going, you put something in it, rocks, dirt, or whatever, and then you use that to fling it up into the tree. So um, that's one of those weight saving tips. If you're just doing a day trip up there, that's a lot easier. But what I always recommend to people is, your bag makes a lot of difference, and how you pack your bag makes a lot of difference. And it's the difference between a lot of chafing and back soreness and shoulder soreness and not. Um, that's something to consider. I like using just commercial, regular old backpacks. I say regular old backpacks, but hiking packs. And I learned a lot because I was that guy. I would use what I had left over from the military. The old military Molly pack or something like that. And I thought there's got to be a better way. Let me see what the long distance hikers are doing, the through hikers. How are they doing this? And if you look at the way they pack, a lot of them are carrying as much electronics as we would doing a soda activation, because they're carrying a lot of camera gear and batteries and drones and all that kind of stuff. So it's not much different. So I highly recommend that if you're really serious about it, especially if we're talking about overnight, multi-night trips. Look at how your through hikers are packing, and utilize that information to create your own pack out. You know, if it's a day trip, just what I call the EDC bag, and I have a what's called a Gamut 2.0 from Vertex is the company. I love that thing. It's great. It's durable. I can pack everything I need in there for a day trip, and if I'm just going to be out for the day or 5 or 6 hours or something like that, I get everything in that bag, and it works great. So tailor the bag to what your trip is going to be is my advice. And I'll see what Pink has to say here.
You have to certainly take into account the food and water requirements that you're going to take along. Definitely don't go on a hike just carrying a camera, no matter how fancy the camera is. You can't
She's
eat
got
it.
A story about that.
I have a story about that, about some girl from another hiking group getting very lost. And anyway, so yeah, I gave her food and water, and bless her little heart.
And
it was.
And the thing about it was, if you're familiar with the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina, this was at Yellow Mountain Gap.
Yeah.
I mean, she was nowhere close to a road or an easily accessible one. The nearest road is really 19E from that point.
Right.
And, going the way we were going, that was another about 8 miles going over Hump Mountain to get there, and then through Doll Flats up over on the Tennessee side. So, and apparently this girl was out there with nothing but a camera, no water, no food, no shelter,
pack, no backpack, nothing. But there was some kind of person with a group of photographers out there somewhere, and they just lost the girl. So I'm sure she was okay. But Lord have mercy, that was, you don't want to repeat that. So definitely think about your shelter. Are you doing a day trip? Definitely take more food and water than you think you're going to need, and get one of those. You can buy them at Walmart for just a couple of dollars. An emergency pack with the aluminum foil. Hello, Zeke, the Don't Call Me a Trail Dog. Aluminum foil cover that will keep you warm in case you get stuck and stranded in a storm or who knows what, or you injure your ankle and can't walk out. So you can stay warm until somebody finds you. Something to make fire, a compass, whatnot. So all the little things that one should carry when one ventures out into nature. A knife comes in handy for many occasions. And then, of course, if you're going to spend the night, your tent, your sleeping bag,
hammock, whatever your choice
is. Whatever your choice is. Yeah. And research. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. There's a lot of information out there. So you can see and do a trial run. Don't just go out there with your brand new tent and your brand new sleeping bag. So you don't want to decide or find out that you don't like this thing, or it doesn't work, or there's a pole missing from your tent, or who knows. So definitely do a dry run or a couple of dry runs beforehand.
Absolutely, because you don't want to be the guy that goes out there with the group and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to be prepared for everything, and takes everything, and then 3 miles in, he's dying.
Yeah.
And everybody else is like, come on, man, let's go. But but with that being said, you don't want to be the person who got their stuff and got the right amount of stuff and don't even know how to use none of it or anything either. So
right.
You got to do some dry runs and stuff like that. Like
right.
Next year after Dayton, there's a bunch of us, and we're going to do the AT, the Maryland section. And
oh, cool.
None of us are real, I would call, hikers, even though a lot of us have outdoor experience. But I used to be an adventure racer, and a lot of soda guys and stuff like that. But none of us are like professional hikers. And I'm sure we'll all be fine. But you want to do a couple of trial runs with what you're going to take. And it's kind of different because, normally if I'm going on a hike like that, before, I wasn't thinking about radio gear and stuff like that. Now I got to figure out how I'm working in radio gear and, of course, YouTube gear to film. So
Right.
it's going to be a different situation. So I'm going to have to do several trials and errors just to see how that's going to work out.
Yeah, and I can't recommend enough for activating, and because this bit me, I self-Murphy'd. That's my term for it. I screwed up. And, it's Murphy's law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Well, it's a self-Murphy when you do it to yourself because you didn't prepare. And I self-Murphy'd by not researching the terrain where I was going to activate enough, particularly Hump Mountain. It wasn't that big of a deal on Grassy Ridge Bald. But when we got over to Hump and I went to activate it, there was nothing there to string. And I didn't have a telescoping pole or anything like that. I've got a Carbon 6 now. But at the time I didn't. And there was nothing up there that I could string an antenna through. There was no trees, no nothing. There was some rhododendron, but none of that was on the top. It was down on the sides. So I wound up having to kind of halfway sling my infed half wave. And I tried, at first I was going to use the KM4 ACK, which I've got one of those that's 40 meters. And that was just not going to work because it was too low to the ground. So I switched over to the spark plug that I have that's cut for 20. And I was able to get that up enough to get some contacts, but not nearly what I could have if I had a pole with me. Thank God for UHF, VHF, and now managed to activate the summit using those. And here I was thinking I'm going to have a heck of a field day because that's what I activated. Hump was on field day this summer. And fortunately, there was a club that they were doing their field day from the summit of Mount Mitchell. So I got summit to summit with them on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. Amazing.
Oh, very nice.
About 29.5 miles between the two peaks. So yeah, we were shocked, but it worked.
You can tell someone's used to getting a lot more attention from Daddy. So he's misbehaving here.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to do something like that, you got to do your research and stuff like that,
right?
For sure, because, like you said, there may not be no trees, or there may be too many trees for you to run up a pole and run a wire from a pole. You got to, what I'm saying, you got to do your research for sure. So what's the first off, what's the longest non-radio hike that you guys have done?
Probably
10 miles.
That first date, which was 10 miles. Since then, just about all of them have been. Well, the second one was, we actually did a Fennessy hike. That was a non-radio hike. And that one was about 6.5 or 7, I guess, something like that. So yeah, but for radio, the Carver's Gap to 19E hike on the AT, that was right at 19 miles across 2 days. 2 summits. Yeah.
Here you go.
17.
Here's an H&H tip for H&H.
Aha.
Yeah, Grassy Ridge was not bad. There was enough rhododendron there. Hey, Doug. There was enough rhododendron there that I was able to get it up. But Hump was, there's plenty of rhododendron. It's just all down off on the sides and not up on the summit. So if you're sitting on the summit, your wire is just kind of dangling there.
And speaking of Doug, I want to give him a really big shout out because he did have me come on his channel about a week and a half ago, I guess it was, and do an interview on his channel, and it really helped me pick up some new viewers. So I really appreciate that. He helped me get over that little hump to get me toward this 1,000, and I really appreciate that. So make sure and check out his channel if you're not already subscribed to his channel. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. If you want to learn how to operate your radio, especially if it's a Yaesu, definitely check out Doug's channel. So. Yeah,
it's quite funny because way back when I very first started doing live streams, I actually interviewed Doug, and then he ends up interviewing me. So it's pretty It's going for see now one day you guys are going to be really really big, and you're going to be like, hey, let's interview the ham radio adventure guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we might do that. We might do that.
Will. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna have to come down to Georgia because I want to do some soda with Doug for sure, and then if I'm coming down to Georgia, I got to come down and do something with you guys too. So
of course,
we'll definitely do a little bit of collabing one way or another. The bad thing is Doug was actually in Huntsville, and I knew he was going to be in Huntsville, but I never seen him the whole time we were there.
Yeah, I was looking for him, and I was looking for in one RBD.
I seen him.
Yeah, and I was looking for him. He's like, yeah, I'm wearing a yellow T-shirt. And this, that, and yeah, I'm looking. I kept looking, never saw him. And then later, I was looking at one of their videos, and I was like, "There's me in the video." I mean, like they're literally like 50 feet behind me, and I was like, "Well, crap," So that's such is the nature of Hamfest. We're all focused on the tables and what's down there, and not necessarily on everybody that's around.
Yeah, Huntsville wasn't really as bad for me as the other two big ones. It was definitely when they say that they're the world's friendliest Hamfest. I'm gonna agree with that. Everybody was super friendly in Huntsville, and it was more of a laid back Hamfest. Whereas at Dayton and Hamvention, and I'm not cutting on them at all. I love both shows, but I worked myself to death at those shows. Like after those shows, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm dead here, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to try to make Dayton next year. We'll see how that goes. Eventually, Hamcation, but definitely Dayton next year is on the menu if we can get there.
And we're booked for Huntsville.
And we are booked for Huntsville. We do have a cabin on Montesano next year. So we will definitely see everybody up there.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks very much, David, for the slices of pizza. And while I'm giving out the shout outs for that, we'll go ahead and thank Bruce, who donated off stream yesterday 10 slices of pizza. Bruce, you're amazing. Thank you very much. James Lennon with the tip jar today, and he hit me up while he was in town too, so I appreciate him. And also off stream, I believe was David as well. I'll have to look at my list because I normally do it at the beginning, but I think David hit me off stream this week too. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you guys. And I will be showing that list here once we get toward the end here, since I had audio issues and wigged out and put Hayden on the spot and made him work. Listen, I blame Hayden. See, you guys have it made. So if you guys live stream, there's two of you all. So one of you can run the chat and watch everything while the other one's talking and switch up. When you do it by yourself, it just sucks.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
I appreciate everything Hayden does, but I blame him for everything now.
It's funny that you say that because let me just there may be something in the works, beyond the Hikin-N-Hammin channel, and I'll leave it at that for right now.
Pray tell.
But that's all I'm going to tell.
That's all you're going to say.
That's all I'm going to tell right now.
There's a German saying: you cannot say only A. You have to follow it with a B, and you have to follow it with an explanation.
Well, it's okay because he will probably come over to Patreon chat afterwards, and we'll make Toby drag it out of him.
There you go. That's a good strategy.
Vern, yes, we do have our cabin in Huntsville. I believe it is number 7. It's the one that we got.
And that's probably what I should do. I should probably go ahead and reserve my cabin for next year.
They're all gone, man.
Already?
Already. When I got ours, there were only 2 left.
Oh my goodness!
And those 2 were gone within the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Thank you, Randall. It wasn't David. It was Randall who sent pizza Friday, and I told you I'd have to look at my list. Matter of fact, Randall was one of the big movers. He came from off the list of the top 10 and is in the top 10. And we'll look and see what place here in a little bit. Him and James Linden, both big movers this week. So of course they're all gone again. I can't never listen. Huntsville's always my bad luck thing anyway. I tried to get there for this was the third year straight, and the 2 years prior, 1 year my driver's wheel bearing went out. The next year my passenger wheel bearing went out, and I was like, this year I told my girlfriend, I was like, we're driving your car. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this. So plus it let me test out a drive on mount for the Eagle One, because a lot of people was asking me questions where I used the Eagle One religiously about a drive on mount, and testing is not concluded yet, but so far I still kill with it. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at some things here. I've got and in fact, I did it when Callum was on. What was it? Coffee and Ham Coffee and Ham Radios the other day. I went ahead and ordered a DX Commander.
Yes, you did.
During the stream, I'm like, all right, I've been looking at it. It's one of those things I've been looking at going, I want one of those. But and I kept putting it off. And when they had Callum on, you know what, I'm just going to do this. So like during the live stream, I'm like, while I'm ordering this, is there any accessories I need to get? So I got that on the way, and I'm already going, I should probably get one of the Expedition models too, so I can use it for photos. So,
I was just going to ask if you got the Expedition model or not.
No, I had to fix my antenna situation here at the house. So I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great antenna. It just depends on how much time you're going to be at a specific park. You know what I'm saying? It takes a little more time to set up. Like I like to play around with other setups and stuff like that. But when I'm roving, I like my Eagle One. I'll tell you what's going to happen tonight. We're going to go on Patreon chat, and I'm going to tell them, all right, I got to be out of here hour and a half, 2 hours, so I can go activate. And they're going to keep me for about 3 hours in there. And then I'm going to say, all right, guys, I'm just going to bed. And then Toby's going to say, but what park are you activating? And then that means, James, either you go to the park or I hunt you down like a dog. So then I go to the park. But I can literally, from my house to Chief Logan, I can be there and have the Eagle One up and be on the air with, depending on how I drive, 13 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Now, if I go to Upper Mud River, which I probably will tonight, 25 minutes.
That's still good. I think that's about the closest for us would be about 25 to 30 minutes away.
Thank you very much, Vern. You rock.
Yes.
Even though listen,
Vern does rock.
I feel so bad because I think I was so excited about actually getting to meet Vern in Huntsville, I didn't even think about it, and I didn't give him those stickers. But his buddy Digital Rancher got stickers off of me. And then we were talking about it on a stream, and Vern's like, "Well, I didn't get no stickers."
Did you mail him some?
No. I'm gonna have to either mail him some, or
you're gonna make Hayden do it for you.
I don't have stickers.
Now here's the thing.
Stickers.
Hayden is my tanknician, is what I call him, because Jason has tank, and it's a funny joke because one night we were sitting here and I was like, I'm jealous. I need a tank to do this, and I was like, I'm taking applications for tank, and Hayden put it in, so I called him my tanknician. But oh Lord, Mike, you don't get no stinking stickers. No.
That's James.
So yeah,
no, I was talking about K at MRD, Mike. He said stickers. We don't need no stinking stickers.
Stickers are awesome. They go on water bottles and computers, and the $60 computer. Yeah.
Yeah, the Jankopotamus. We both have Jankopotami now, so that's we're using those for photos.
I even have a new one.
Mike just has one sticker of yours.
Wow. That's
I don't
really
have that
cute.
one yet.
I want one. Oh, it's a little tree.
But yeah, we've got some stuff that we're trying to get done.
Here he goes with this A and no B stuff again.
Oh no! I was going to talk about
know,
something
right?
entirely different. So one of the things that I want to do, this is a me. I've always wanted to, if I could right now, I would quit my job and go do the AT. Well, maybe not right now, but in the spring, go through hike the AT. If I could afford to quit my job and go do that, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I can't, so I have to section hike it. And so one of the things we're trying to be doing over the next 2 to 3 years is doing section hikes and soda activations, plus obviously POTA, because you're on the trail anyway, may as well activate it.
Right.
From Springer up to where they do trail days in Virginia. I'm blanking on it now.
Okay. Ferry. What is it? Harper's Ferry.
Harper's Ferry? Is that the halfway?
Oh, wait. No. Damascus.
Damascus, yeah.
Yes.
So basically Springer Mountain to Damascus. I want to try to get that done in sections over the next 2 to 3 years. So that should be a lot of activating.
Well, if you are coming to Harper's Ferry, let me know, because it is 6 hours for me, but I'll gladly drive up there and.
Oh wow!
Now here's the other thing though, and I haven't talked about this yet. We've kind of been batting around this idea. So if you want to come, James, I'm going to go ahead and extend the invitation. I know you've got these plans to go to Hawaii, but basically November of next year. We're going to attempt to do a POTA run, starting at the Everglades, go all the way down the Keys and all the way out to Dry Tortuga.
And there are how many parks?
Very nice. I'm supposed
14.
From what I hear, I may be hitting Dry Tortuga in February. That's
nice.
Wow.
That's what I've heard. We'll see if it happens or not, but. That which works out really good for me, because February I'm normally in Florida for a month anyway. So
nice. We kind of hatched this plot. We're like, what, where can we go do, and I started looking at, I was looking at something else entirely. And I started looking, I was like, the Keys is just a string of parks. We should go do that. So then that led to research to when's the least expensive time to be in the Keys? November. So.
Here we go. Hayden, highlight RFing's around comment about the Great Trail of Canada.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah, that's.
He's going to finish in about 800 years.
800 years.
Well, I mean, goals. Gotta have goals.
Gotta have goals. Somebody sent me a picture because there was one morning this week that I had some stuff I had to do before work and I didn't activate. Heaven forbid. I activated 3 other times that day, but I didn't do my before work activation, So heaven forbid I get a text and it's a picture of this really big old fat king. And it's like, this is how the king gets fat. He misses activations. I'm like, come on. And of course it was Pee-Pee Man. I'll tell you who it was.
I don't know if you saw my suggestion the other day, James, that on your thumbnails where you have the crown, or with the throne, you should make that throne be made out of melted antennas.
I did see that, and I like it. I need to work on that. Doug wants to know if you guys are, well, I guess he's asking you guys, are going to the Chattanooga Hamfest October 14th and 15th.
No plans on Chattanooga. No. Is that?
Yeah,
we're supposed to be camping, right?
No.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That weekend, we are at Eastwind filming a thing.
So, yeah, for those of you that don't know, Pink also does, I don't know, how would you characterize it? B movies?
Yeah, B, C, but they're wonderful. They are wonderful medieval reenactments, and Civil War reenactments and World War II things and post-apocalyptic things and sci-fi stuff. And yeah.
So yeah, she's filming that weekend. So
cool. So if I ever do a POTA movie, I'm going to need you to play the part of K8MRD.
Okay. Be happy to.
I love you, Mike. Anyway, I know I will not be at a Hamfest on the 15th and 16th because that's Fall Support Your Park. So I'll pretty much be in the park for most of the weekend. Like every weekend. I think every weekend is Support Your Parks. So
yeah.
It's great. It's crazy because I actually started taking off. It's been several months now. I started taking off on Fridays, and I said it was to help the YouTube channel and get more stuff done for the YouTube channel. Blah 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 blah. And it's ended up being a third day of POTA roving now.
Aha.
It wasn't supposed to be that, but I'm an addict. I'm waiting for somebody to start the meetings because I need to be number one there. But yeah, it gets crazy. So this weekend I probably won't rove as much because it's probably going to rain all weekend. So they're all going to be in the car activation. So I don't know. I hate in the car activation.
Hi,
hey, Hef.
Oh,
Yeah, great meeting you too.
good to
So
see you.
yeah, we were when we were filming the Shelby, which by the way, there's going to be a Shelby Handfest Pink Edition that
Yes.
that we got to do. We wind up with so much footage
Pink
between
edition.
us that it's the point where I can start doing two videos, one for mine and one of her footage. So there'll be a Pink Edition. But
yeah,
we started going out toward the boneyard, and we turned the corner, and Hep is out there with his club, and
Rock Hill.
Your amateur radio club, I think it is. Confirm that for me if you would, Hep. And and started chatting up, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh," they're like, "Well, he's a YouTuber too," and like, "Oh," and it was Hep. So yeah, great meeting you, man.
And on the 1st, they have Rock Hill Hamfest, correct?
Yeah, when is your Hamfest? You guys are you have? Yeah, Wycars there is York County.
On the first of October.
October, yeah, just a few days from now.
And I bought a butt ton of raffle tickets, so I'm hoping I win something.
You're hoping I win something.
This is moved later in October due to the storm. But
it's kind of funny because myself and Kilo 8 Golf Quebec, which is in the chat, we were sitting at a sort of a local Hamfest, and we were both talking about how neither one of us has ever won anything. And then it wasn't 5 minutes later they called my call sign. I was like, "What in the world?"
Wow. Okay, so Hef just wrote some information here. Due to the storm that's moving in, the Hamfest has been moved to later on in October.
Okay, that's what I was doing. I was looking at the date and see.
Yeah, that's
so the first will be this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is great because that means my club meeting is this Saturday.
Yeah.
Gives me reason to not be in the rain as much, right?
Yeah.
Randall Edge says there's Jar Fest November the 20th in Benson, North Carolina. He's been trying to get me to go to that. It's still up in the air, but we'll see because I'm also thinking of November the 5th, I believe it is, going down and doing the Central Florida POTA meetup, and doing a couple meet and greets on the way down. So that's hopefully going to happen.
But that would be nice.
All right. So interesting story while hiking and doing POTA. Give me one.
Well, let's see. Well, hiking. Well, not so much. Well, it was
okay. POTA soda
It was
doing radio. While doing radio. How about that?
So if you're familiar with, especially through hikers, but anybody that does a lot of trail hiking, everybody has. It's almost like a call sign. It's a trail name. People get trail names. Hers is Pink because she wears pink and has pink hiking poles, and she'll wear a pink scarf and the whole line. So her trail name is Pink and has been Pink for a long time. I did not have a trail name for a long time. And I actually got mine because, and you can see it in a lot of the videos, pictures, and things like that. The yellow antenna. Crap, who makes those things? Because I got to buy her one that's pink.
Yes. Yes.
For my handheld sticking up out of my pack. And when we hike, especially when we're doing the really long distance stuff, we will get a little bit separated because my stride's just a little bit longer than hers. And also she's taking a lot of pictures of everything.
Yeah.
So she gets slowed down because she's, trying to get the perfect picture of the snail or, whatever, flower, bees and
butterflies.
And so, and I'm trucking because I'm thinking in my mind, I need to get up here. I need to get to this point so I can get set up and activate. That's where my brain is going. So we'll get separated. And before she had her license, so now of course she has NL too, so it's a lot easier. But before that happened, I would get somewhere and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait for her to catch up, and we'd inevitably end up getting spread out again. But I would wait for her somewhere, and people that were moving faster than her would be, they would go past, and she'd say, if you see the guy with the antenna. So I'd be sitting at a shelter on the trail somewhere or under a tree or sitting on a rock, and somebody would come up the trail from behind me and go, oh, you're the guy with the antenna, or the other way around. And I'd say, hey, if you see somebody in pink back there, that's my girlfriend. Let her know I'm up here waiting on her and, how far ahead I am.
Mm-hmm.
And they would get back to her and they go, oh, there's some guy that said he's up there. And she'd say, does he have an antenna? Yeah, he's got an antenna sticking out of his pack. So that's how I got my trail name of Antenna, because the signal stick, the bright yellow signal stick sticking out of my pack.
It suits you well.
So there's that. I'm trying to think. Go ahead.
This is why I did adventure racing, and I could just run through the trails instead of hike, because if I would have got stuck with a trail name, it would have probably been like, hey, ugly.
Oh, no. Adventure Guy is a good trail name. I vote for that.
Well, don't I have to receive it when I'm on the trail, though?
Yes, technically you should.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway. That's really...
RFing around is, they would shorten that. I don't know if you see that one up there.
Alpha Hotel.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Well, there were deer, there were Karens.
Well, no, the Karens. That's a good story.
Yes. We were
pack of Karens going up the Grassy Ridge.
Yes, we were approaching the top of Grassy Ridge, and Lou was in front of me. And here comes this pack of Karens on a day hike, and just to watch the pre-sunset from the top. And they're trekking it up the hill, and I'm like, shh, there's a deer. And they're like, one of them, oh yeah, I told them they were gonna see some wildlife out here. And I'm like, can you keep it down so you don't
I'm trying to film this doe, and these, it's like spring break for 40-somethings.
Yeah.
As they're coming up the trail. And I'm like, wow. So we get up there, I throw up the antenna, I'm activating Grassy Ridge. And what did the one say to you?
Oh, yes, she did say, oh, bless your heart, you're such a darling that you're doing this with him and you're sitting through all this. And I'm like, girlfriend, you just don't know. I'm going to get my license and I'm going to be doing this and having just as much, if not more fun, that I thought was what kind of comment is that? Wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So I knew you were going to highlight that. That because see, I am actually working on a second YouTube channel, and that would be just a great name for it.
Yay! Does it include libations?
So just remind me that the next time I'm way back in the woods with RFing around, only one James comes out. Listen, we went on a rove in Ohio when he came down because he wanted to rove with me, but he wanted to get parks that were new to me too. And we're looking. The closest ones we found was about 3 hours away. So we go on this rove, and we're out in Ohio, and we start driving up this mountain. I was like, I thought we left West Virginia because I mean it was just old dirt road and just went way back in the woods, and yeah. We won't talk about online where we had our antenna tied off or nothing, but that's one of those A's, and you ain't going to get a B unless you're in Patreon chat. Funny stuff. All right, so we are nearing the top of the hour. So really quick, you guys tell everybody about your social medias and your channels and what's coming up. And while you're doing that, we're going to be blanked out because my Patreons are going to be showing because I got to give them a shout out.
All right. So yeah, Hikin-N-Hammin. You can find us on the just by doing a search on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, please do. I need 4 more. As of the last time I checked, they break the 200 mark. And also Hikin-N-Hammin on Twitter, and Pink is Pink Hikes on Twitter. So you can find us both there as well.
Awesome stuff. So 4 more to hit 200. So I know I get a lot more people to watch this overnight. By tomorrow morning, he better have that 200, or else I'm going to be very, very angry, for sure. So all right. So there was the Patreons. Now, really quick, I'll try to do this at the beginning, but this is the current standings for the Adventure Club. Bruce is still in the lead. Second place right now is separated by 50 cents between Kurt and James. James come out of nowhere, and Randall popped all the way up to 7th place there. So this quarter ends on Friday night at 12 a.m. So if you want to get in the top 10 and get in that drawing for this quarter, you better hit it up if you're not in there. And I want to see how the battle turns out for second, because first and second actually goes into the big drawing for the end of the year too. So,
hey, 199 now. All right,
awesome.
Thanks.
There we go.
Thanks to all of these subscribers. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And there's also a secret bet. Did you? Well, it's not really a secret.
Oh, that's right. It's not a secret because I put it out the other night. So here's the Hikin-N-Hammin subscriber challenge.
Okay.
I am at 1,000 subscribers by the time that Huntsville rolls around next year.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah, because you were on last night. I will wear my kilt on Saturday at Huntsville.
Yes.
Oh,
if I have 1,000 subscribers.
You should wear your kilt anyway.
Well, I mean, I got to make it worthwhile. I mean, I may as well get subscribers out of the deal.
I wear mine every chance I get.
No guarantees that I'll be regimental, though.
Okay.
If it's 2,000 subscribers, I'll go regimental.
No comment.
So I actually, after he put that, I won't tell you what I said I would do if I got 10,000 by Huntsville.
Somebody just referenced that, yeah.
I was told I would be on a Canadian watch list. We'll just put it that way. Anyway, Patreons, you know where the after chat is. I hope to see you guys over there. Lou, Pink, thank you very much for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. And you're Patreon, so you're definitely welcome in the after chat. Everybody else, thank you very much. The 1K giveaway. More than likely next week is when we'll do the 1K celebration and giveaway. it's either next week or the week after. I'm kind of trying to wait till YouTube goes ahead and pushes it through and makes me legal. But if not, it won't be no later than 2 weeks. So 2 antennas, Eagle One, and an MFJ 1980 something in-fed half wave. So good stuff. Other than that, Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you Patreons in the chat, and everybody else. We'll see you on the air right here after the Patreons let me loose. 73, guys.
73.
73,
y'all.